Hey y'all, welcome to the Pace Studio in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Ellen.
I'm Lizzie.
And today we're going to talk about the year in music ahead of us. 2020 has begun and officially the music calendar is back up and running. And today we're going to talk about some of our most excited albums for this year. So to start us off, let's talk about the Queen, Rihanna.
Yes.
Do we think it's happening?
I mean, I think it's happening
We think it's happening.
There's been some what appears to be press photos surfacing on Twitter via Def Jam. And also, she talked about it with Vogue, saying that she was going to put out a reggae-inspired album.
Give it to us, please. It could happen.
I don't know. There was some speculation as to whether she was going to surprise drop it last year. I have a feeling it's going to drop quarter one.
So soon.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed. I think the first part of the year will be a lot better off if Rihanna is in it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the conversation dominating record of this year, I think.
For sure. But this year is still long ahead of us, so there's lots of different conversation dominators that could pop up. And one of those could be Jason Isbell, the country singer, who has not put out a record since 2017. Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit put out the Nashville Sound. So if you do your math, you do your album cycle math, you're kind of like, okay, it could happen this year, right? And, you know, his wife, Amanda Shires, put out music the past couple years. She also sings in the 400 Unit. So, I mean, she's been busy. I don't know if they've had time to be in the studio, but my calculations, if they are correct, I would assume that we have a new Jason Isbell album coming out this year. And I mean, man, all of his albums have just been incredible. Like, I have complete confidence that anything he releases will be great.
The critics love him, and for good reason, I think.
Yeah, so fingers crossed we get new Jason Isbell this year as well. Now, one that recently has been pretty much confirmed that it is happening. Guys, the Strokes are back. The Strokes are back.
The Strokes. But I mean, they've kind of rumored or hinted in past years. So,
true.
But I do think this is has a little bit more weight behind it. Right. They're playing a lot more shows now.
Yeah, Julian said it at one of the shows on New Year's Eve, I believe.
Yeah. There's a new song out. There's live footage of a new song, which I really like, by the way.
Well, I haven't heard it, but I'm glad to hear that. That gives me confidence.
It's actually a pretty decent live version as well.
Great.
It's not super grainy or anything. So I am weirdly intrigued.
I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I mean, this is a couple years after Meet Me in the Bathroom came out. They've had a whole kind of new press rebirth, you could say. So yeah, I'd be really pumped to see the Strokes put out a record this year. And next up, a record that is for sure coming out finally after 5 years since their last album, Tame Impala. Kevin Parker has said the Slow Rush is arriving on Valentine's Day. This is obviously the follow-up to Currents. And I mean, if it's anything like his last few albums, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I think there's like 4 or 5 tracks from it already out.
Several already out.
I'm wondering if we're now at a point where their last 2 records especially have been so beloved and critically acclaimed that it's going to be very difficult, I think, for them to measure up to those last 2. But
we had both of them on our best of the decade list.
Yeah.
So that is a lot. That's a high bar.
And especially with them even just being super influential, of the artists that have sort of taken over their space since they've been gone. So it's kind of like, where is the appetite for a Tame Impala record? Where are they now? So
yeah, we'll see.
Have to find out.
We'll see at a lot of festivals because they're playing a whole lot of festivals this year. So you can check out Tame Impala on the road. And next up, another artist who is not, nothing's confirmed, but if we're doing our math correctly, we're following some Instagram posts. It looks like Phoebe Bridgers will have a new solo record out this year after putting out music with Conor Oberst and with Boy Genius, obviously, the past 2 consecutive years.
Yeah, I mean, she's 3 for 3, I think, with her solo record, Strange of the Alps. Like, that record, I can't imagine her actually making like a bad song, much less a bad solo album.
Yeah, I can't imagine it either.
So, I mean, she's hopefully back, ready to break more hearts.
I mean, I'm ready. Take it. She can have it.
Yeah.
And break it. So that hopefully will be this year. And another singer who has not put out an album since 2012, but she said, we're talking about Fiona Apple. She said in a Vulture interview late last year that a new album is on the way. Hopefully. I think she said something like, I hope it's out in early 2020. So like, now's the time, Fiona. We need you. Come back, please.
Yeah. I mean, every music publication is like foaming at the mouth
we're all
right
like,
now.
Please give us new Fiona.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, the world is burning, the world is on fire, and Fiona has always had a good way of, you know, making us feel a little better in times like that. So fingers crossed for new Fiona this year.
I have trust. I think it's gonna drop.
I think so too. And another one that we're pretty sure is gonna happen is Iceage.
Yes. So again, this is kind of a math guessing game at this point. Speculation is half the fun of talking about music.
Exactly.
But, you know, it's been, they usually take about 2 to 3 years in between records. It's been 2 years since they dropped Beyondless. That was in 2018. I honestly think in terms of punk bands, there's not a more consistent band than them. Every single one of their records is a completely separate thing and is lyrically insane. Live, they're still an insane band. So honestly, if they were to drop something this year, I would be very excited.
Yeah, that would be really great. And like you said, we're doing our math here, so hopefully. And another one where we're kind of doing our math, but Haim did tweet out towards the end of 2019, there's so much more we want to share with you. Keep your eyes peeled in 2020. Their last album came out in 2017, Something to Tell You. So I'm thinking that Haim is going to put out something new this year. And I mean, talk about 3 singles that came out last year that were all, I mean, they were 3 for 3 on those singles. They were all incredible.
And the videos.
The videos, which Paul Thomas Anderson directed. Right. So, like, obviously they're going to be great. But, yeah, I mean, like, they are so cohesive with everything they're doing right now. And I'm just so beyond excited. That may be one of my number one most excited about for this year.
I mean, you can't really release 3 incredible singles and then just leave us hanging on the album front.
No, it's coming.
Gonna happen.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So Haim is one we're looking forward to. And if you want to see all the other albums we're excited about in 2020, head to pacemagazine.com where you can read about the 40 most anticipated albums of the year. And we'll see you next time in the Pace Studio.